I was going to call on you next, so go.
Do you have a question, or are you saying time's up?
I was saying hello.
Hello?
Just wondering, so you were a big part of the first Independence Day. You were not in the second one. Probably apparently wasn't very good. But what was behind you not being in the second Independence Day? Were you asking for the moon like Will Smith was?
I don't recall. Well, I think we couldn't work the schedule out. I was still filming The Last Ship, so it just would have been too dicey. For a big movie like that, you have to sign on for like 6 months, and the movies like that, they don't generally let you do that in second position. They would have put themselves in second position to The Last Ship. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Right back here.
Yeah, the John Casey growl that you do, was that actually scripted, or was that just something you added in?
I was having stomach trouble. I don't know. I think that role just sort of made me feel internally curmudgeonly, especially towards loser Chuck. It's just a disgusted. And then they liked it, and they just started writing.
What was the sound effect note in the script?
Yeah, it was U-G-H, sometimes a couple H's. U-G-H, Casey grunts, U-G-H, ellipsis. Dot, dot, dot.
Oh, great.
But then I totally improv a few of them.
Is there a project you've worked on where you wish it would have gotten the kind of love that Firefly or Chuck or The Last Ship has received? And maybe it's something that needs to go be watched again or rediscovered.
There was a sci-fi show called The Visitor that Dean Devlin produced. Dean and Roland, they produced. It was short-lived. John Corbett was the lead guy, and I thought it was terrific. But the way it was explained to me is that it was right on the heels of Independence Day. It was produced or started airing in Independence Day came out in '96, so The Visitor would have been '96 or '97 on Fox, and it didn't have aliens attacking, so the network was like, where are the aliens? When do the aliens attack? So that one, and then there was another show I did with Peter Coyote called The Inside, which was this dark special victims unit type FBI unit, but it was dark. It was cool though. Peter Coyote was great. Jay Harrington was also in it. Katie Finneran, and it just didn't catch an audience. If you don't catch the audience, you're not going to stay on. It's not like the old days when Brendan Tartikoff says, "No, I like Seinfeld. It stays on." I like the show. It stays on. That was back in the days when there was one guy who had the power to say yes.
Right here.
How was it reuniting with Nathan on Castle?
Oh, Castle was just a wonderful little stint for me. I did 2 episodes as Ethan Slaughter. Remember the first text message from Nathan was, "Hey, any chance you could do a little guest spot for us? It's sort of Jane Cobb meets Dirty Harry." Do you think you can handle it? It's a stretch, Nate, but sure. No, he and I, we just have a great time, and much of the crew of Castle were also working on X-Files, so it was like home again. It's interesting when you step onto a show as a guest star, everything's sort of in place, and everybody knows each other, and you're the guest actor, and they're supposed to defer to you a little bit, and but you're not really in the club, you're just, you're double parked. And, but on that one, Nathan was just like, hey, come here, we're gonna hang out in my trailer and we're gonna run lines, and like, come here, check out my new toy, and hey guys, Adam's back, you know? There were a few people there who didn't know me and didn't care. Why are we treating him so nice?
There are people who haven't heard this, and it always cracks me up every time it's brought up in conversation. When you were shooting Firefly, and it might have even been a habit you had on previous gigs, regardless of who the focus on the scene was, you were always doing something in the background. Something. So go over that again, because it's one of my favorite stories.
Well, the bottom line is I'm a scene-stealing son of a bitch.
And we love you for it!
And if there's no dialogue, I'm going to figure out something to do somewhere in frame so that the camera kind of has to go, oh, what's he up to? And that's what I would be trying to do, is steal the scene as much as I could, or at least to give it some life. And I was always happy to just jump in there and then, oh, sure, I'll be on camera. I'll be drinking a cup of coffee or eating something or sharpening my knife or cleaning my weapon or, you know, stuff like that. So that's just try to fill it with some life. You know, actors are not talkers, they're doers. They're supposed to be doing something. And that's why I think it was Lucille Ball said 3 of the most profound words in acting is know your props. Sounds simple, sounds easy, but if you really know and learn them, then they become second nature, especially weapons or you know, glasses or cigarettes. Like if someone's I'm not saying that you smoke or anything, but as a prop, you can tell someone who's not a smoker from someone who really is, or someone who wears glasses or is just pretending that they wear glasses because they just manipulate them in a more comfortable way. And so that's what Lucille Ball would do. Chocolate streaming across. Can you imagine the rehearsals for those? Or the scene, or the chocolate, or the Vitamita Benjamin. Yeah. So.
Would you ever consider doing a guest spot on Big Bang Theory like Nathan in Summer House?
If they ask, I don't know what character they would give me, but sure, I'm open to anything. If it's a fun character, like I said, if you can make him sniper funny, I'll jump in there. I mean, those half-hour guys don't intimidate me. They got way more money than me, but that's
We're on season 19. Let's renegotiate.
unbelievable.
It's amazing.
Juggernaut.
And we can thank Friends for that. Thanks, guys. This is the reason why they still have commercials on TV.
I tell you that Big Bang Theory, though, I was most happy for Kelly Cuoco. Kaylee Cuoco, because she was on that John Ritter show, which we loved. You know,
7 Simple Rules.
say again?
7 Simple Rules for Dating My Dog?
Yes,
Eight Simple
Rules of Dating My Dog, which we loved, and then he passed away, and it was tragic. But then she launched right, so talented, and so off and running. So now they all have they're set for life.
Have you done any stage work, plays? And what's the difference between the plays, the movies, and the series? Which have you done all 3, and which one do you prefer?
I did one play early on called Album when I was about 19 years old. It was an innocent time in the early to mid 60s before the Vietnam War really exploded and became this big political upheaval that it became. And it was just these suburban kids listening to Beatles music and trying to figure out how to get through life. It was sort of an innocent little play. And it was me and Alan Ruck and Megan Mullally and Jennifer Grey. And we did the Chicago production of that. And the New York production was Kevin Bacon and forgive me. Keith Gordon, Kevin Bacon, and a couple of young actresses that I can't remember because I didn't really work with them, but you can look it up. So I did that, and doesn't pay anything. Can't make a living if you're doing theater. You need to have a benefactor. So I kind of faded away from that. I've done some stage readings and some, that sort of thing. Those are fun. It's fun to get in front of the Thrilling Adventure Hour. Done a couple of those. That's great. But the bread and butter is in television and film. You know, baby needs new shoes. This baby also needs new shoes. This baby also needs new shoes. And mom needs to go grocery shopping, and I have to drive. Thanks.